that I'm going to share with you, and I will go ahead and bring that up. And as I go through, I will stop momentarily for any questions, and then we'll proceed, and then at the end I will open it up for some questions and answers. That sounds good to everybody? If you could give me maybe a thumbs up or okay, and we'll get going here.
Yes.
Let's see. All right. Can everybody see my presentation, my slideshow here?
Yes. Yes.
Great. Dr. Kristen Shand is the admissions director, and she's also the subject area advisor for history social science. Her email is there, so any questions that you have directly about the history social science, you can shoot her an email, or if there's something that's beyond me, you can always reach out to her as well. With that, why would you be interested in getting a credential from Cal State Fullerton? Well, we're 100% accredited from the California Commission on Teacher Credentialing. They are the organization who's actually going to issue you your teaching credential once you complete a credential program. We're also accredited from the National Council for Accreditation of Teacher Education. They come out every 10 years, and they review our files and talk to staff, faculty, students, and we usually pass with flying colors. We're a field-based program, which means that you're going to do 2 semesters of student teaching, and then the English Learners Authorization is already embedded into our program, so there's nothing special that you need to do about that. You'll just get it already. The subject areas that we offer here at Cal State Fullerton are English, social science, foundational level math, which lets you teach mostly middle school and 9th grade. You're not allowed to teach AP, calculus, and I believe it's trig. Then you have full mathematics, which allows you to teach up to 12th grade. Foundational level science, again, that's mostly middle school. And then your science, bio, chem, geoscience, and physics. PE, world languages, we included some of them, but if we're able to place you for any student teaching, we can take you. I think recently we placed an Arabic student, so like I said, if we can place you, you can do that language. Music and art. Most of these programs are offered both fall and spring, but you should note that PE, world language, and music and art are only offered every fall. So you want to keep that in mind when you're wanting to apply to the actual credential program. Our program is 2 semesters long. It's a full-time program, and you'll do student teaching in both semesters. We do require some prerequisites, so if you've never taken any educational coursework before, then you'll need to complete those as well. There are actually 4 of them that need to be done. EDSC 310, the teaching experience, includes 45 observation hours, and then EDSC 320, adolescence and education, 330, developing literacy in secondary schools, 340, diversity in secondary schools, and those are the 4 that must be completed before you start the actual credential program. You can be in progress of them at the time of the deadline, and I'll give you those deadlines a little bit later. The last 2, EDSC 304, Proficiency in Education Technology, and EDSC 410, Teaching English Learners, those are required courses, and they do recommend that you do those prior to starting the actual program. They encourage you to do that so that your course weight is not as much when you start the actual program. If you do not do them prior, you'll do 410 in the first semester of the program, and 304 they'll place during an intersession summer or winter. Did you have any questions on the prerequisites at all?
Okay.
I know sometimes people want to know if they're able to take them at another institution, possibly a community college. It is possible. You'd have to do the footwork on your own, meaning that you take a look at our prerequisite courses description, and then you'd kind of match them up to, let's say, Fullerton College, and you would say, hey, their intro to teaching class sounds like our teaching experience course. You could then reach out to Dr. Shand, and she can confirm if that would get approved or not. If you've already taken an education course, you'll want to submit a course equivalency petition form, and you can find that document on our website. the department will review it and they'll either deny or approve it. Obviously, if it gets approved, then you're good to go. If it's denied, then you'll want to go ahead and take our courses. There's two ways about taking these prerequisites. You can either take them as a matriculated student, which means that you've applied to the university and you've gotten admitted, or as a non-matriculated, where you'd go through an extended ed. If you're going to take them as a matriculated student, once you apply, you'll want to make sure that you submit our prerequisite application. You'll find that on our website, and you'll email that to me as an attachment. If you go as a non-matriculated through extended ed, you do not need to do that prerequisite application. You'll just register directly with them. So in our program, we have program advisors for each specific subject area. So we don't really have counselors, but we do have advisors. These advisors are there to help you motor through the program. They're the ones that will review your application file once you submit it, and they'll interview you, and then they'll make a decision. On the screen, you'll see that this is just some of their duties that they have to help you motor through the program. So the first semester of the credential program it's a mandatory orientation that you'll have the first day of the semester. Then you'll have a pedagogy and fieldwork seminar, and that's Friday mornings for the entire CSUF semester. You'll have a gradual induction co-teaching. That's your student teaching. It's 3 class periods for the entire public semester, school semester. And what that means is that during the time that classes are in session or school's in session, say it's from 7:50 to 2:30, you will student teach 3 class periods during that time. You will not know what 3 class periods you'll be teaching until your master teacher makes that decision. For the entire public school semester, what that means is, should you be placed at a school that's going to start before Cal State Fullerton's semester starts, you will start then. And then on the other end, if you're in a school that ends after our semester ends, you'll stay there in complete student teaching until that school is out of session. The next one is the subject-specific instructional methods course. This is the only course that you'll take that's subject area specific. So you won't take any courses, like if you're going to be a math teacher, you're not going to take math classes. All our courses are education coursework based. This is specifically for secondary ed. But this is a course that all math teachers will take together. And that's 1 evening a week for the entire CSUF semester. And then we have the Teaching English Learners in Secondary Schools. That's the 410 class that I was talking about before, where if you take it ahead of time, then this 1 evening a week class will not be on your schedule. If you don't take it, then it's another evening a week. So you're looking at Friday mornings for the seminar, student teaching Monday through Thursday for 3 class periods, and then a 1 evening a week class, and possibly another evening a week class, depending on when you take the 410. That's the first semester. The second semester of the program is your student teaching. You're there now Monday through Friday, again for 3 class periods, and then they're going to add on another conference and planning period. You will then take over the class from the master teacher in this semester. You also have a student teaching seminar. That's 1 night a week for the entire semester. And then a teaching performance assessment seminar. That's a hybrid class. It meets twice face-to-face, and then the rest of it is online. Any questions on the actual semesters and the coursework there? All right, so this is where I'm going to go in a little more in depth with the admissions requirements. Without these requirements, you won't get into the program. So it's important that I give you the specifics so you don't miss anything. So our deadlines are always February 15th for the fall semester and September 25th for the spring. We do accept late applications. It's on a case-by-case status and also dependent upon the advisor of the subject area that you're applying for. All these documents will be needed to submit to me in 540. So the first thing you'll want to do is apply to Cal State Fullerton. If you're going to take the prerequisites as a an admitted matriculated student, then you will have already done this and will not need to do that when you're ready to apply to the program. If you haven't taken the prerequisites as a student, or you've taken them somewhere else, you'll need to do this when you're ready to apply to the program. You're going to go to Cal State Apply, and it's going to ask you to submit documents or upload documents. At this time, we're asking you not to upload any documents. Just get through the application process and submit your application. You'll want to make sure that after you've done that, if you've never been here before, that you submit your transcripts to admissions and records directly. You will not get admitted without those transcripts. If you've gone here as an undergrad, then they'll already have your information on file, and it's not necessary to resubmit anything to them. There's a $55 application fee that you're going to submit with that application. The next application is a program application. Again, you're either going to submit a prerequisite or the program application. The link is there. They are both writable PDFs, so you can fill those out and save them and then print them out and submit them with your documents. I kind of went over the prerequisites, so 310, 320, 330, and 340 must be completed before you can start the actual credential program. You can be in progress of them at the time of the deadline. So for example, say you want to start our program in fall and you're going to take our prerequisites in spring. Our fall deadline is February 15th and you're taking them at that time, you're good to go, you're fine to apply. You must maintain a 3.0 GPA across the board on those prerequisites, and you'll want to make sure that you do that, because I have seen them have people take classes over for not meeting that requirement. The state requires you to prove subject matter competency, and what that is they want to make sure that you know the subject area that you want to teach. There's two ways of proving that to the state. You'll either do the subject matter prep program, which is often known as the SMPP program, or you're going to do the CSET. If you've done an undergrad in the subject area that you want to teach, let's say English, it's possible that you might have done an SMPP. So we encourage you to go back to your undergrad advisor or the department and see if you're SMPP qualified. If you are, they'll have a form that they'll fill out with all the coursework, and they'll sign it off saying that you're qualified. If you are, then you don't have to take the CSET. Now, if you didn't do your undergrad in the subject area that you want to teach, then you're just going to do the CSET. Each subject area has different amounts of subtests, so you want to pay attention to that. And you also want to make sure that you complete all subtests. So English has 4, all 4 subtests are required to get into the program. And CSET is good for 10 years now. So once you take it, you have 10 years to start a credential program. When you get your CSET results, we ask you to download and save those results and print them out and submit it as part of your packet. It'll ask you if you'd like the scores to be sent directly to Cal State Fullerton. Unfortunately, we do not receive them, so please don't do that. Just make sure that you download them and save them. In addition, everything that we ask you for, pretty much a district is going to ask you for when it comes time to applying for a job. So I would say make sure and just have like a little file folder together with all your documents. The next test that the state's going to have you do is a CBEST test, or they want you to prove that you can demonstrate basic educational skills, which includes basic skills of reading, writing, and math. You'll take that once and it never expires. They do provide other options for you to meet the basic skills. We've listed them here on our PowerPoint, and it has the scores. If you've taken the SAT exam and you meet those scores, just get your hands on a copy of your scores and submit those with your documents. On our website, we have our checklist, and on that checklist, you will find the information how to retrieve your scores if you don't have them anymore, or if you've lost them. So make sure you check that out, and hopefully that's an option for you, and it's one less test that you'll have to take. If not, you're just going to do the CBEST, and that never expires. Any questions on the SMP, the CSET, or the CBEST? Okay. So the next thing on our list is that we're going to have you demonstrate proficiency in written and oral. What that means is there's a 2 to 3 page narrative that we'll have you respond to. It's the question pretty much is why you want to be a teacher and why you want to be a teacher for that specific subject area. It's number 9 on our checklist that I just talked about. So you'll look at that and you'll just respond 2 to 3 pages, double space type. Letters of recommendation are required. 2 must come from faculty that you've taken a course from. A preference is if you did an undergrad in the subject area, instructors from those courses. If not, you can use your prerequisite instructors or anybody that you've taken a course from. Some may say that they haven't taken any courses in a long time and there are fears that nobody would remember who they are. At that time, we suggest that you ask your prerequisite instructors here to write a letter. And they may at that time say they'll write it, but they won't give it to you till mid-semester or end of the semester. And that's okay. Although our deadline will be sooner than that, you can still submit your application as long as we know who those letters are coming from. Letters are good for a year of the time that they are dated. So keep that in mind when you're asking, that you want to make sure that it's within the timeline that you want to apply to the program. If for some reason you don't apply to our program till a semester, 2 semesters later, you'll want to be careful with that expiration date on those letters. For the faculty letters of recommendation, we want that on a form, and you're going to find this form on our website under important documents. You can email the form to the faculty or you can hand deliver it to them. They'll fill it out and they'll either return it to you because they are non-confidential, or they'll email or fax them directly to Dr. Shand. If that happens, she will send them over to me. I will hold on to them, and when you're ready to apply, we'll add them to your application. The last letter must come from any source of your choice, and it must be a written letter. It can be another faculty member, but it must be written. If it's not a faculty, we encourage you to find somebody that has witnessed you working with adolescents or children in any kind of aspect. So whether maybe it's tutoring, maybe you work for your church youth group, maybe you've coached a youth team, soccer team or baseball team. Anything like that would be helpful. If not, it can always be a boss, a coworker, somebody that you've worked with. And if you still haven't figured out who you could use, I encourage you to reach out to the subject area advisor and ask them if they have a preference, and they'll help you figure that out. Official transcripts. So the university is going to want official transcripts of everywhere that you attended. It's very similar for our case as well, but we do want official transcripts from where you got your bachelor's. The state requires you to have a bachelor's in order to obtain a credential. So we need to make sure that you have a bachelor's, and the official transcripts of where you got your bachelor's is going to prove that to us. All the other colleges and universities that you attended, they can be official. They can also be copies of officials, which means, out of an open envelope. We'll accept those as well. We have a required GPA of 2.67 cum or 2.75 last 60 semester units. This is a little tricky because although this GPA requirement is only required for our program, the university is going to hold you to it when applying to the prerequisites. So if you don't meet that right off the bat, they're going to deny you. If this happens to you, you'll want to reach out to us and we'll see what we can do to get you still into the prerequisites, because those prerequisites are opportunities to earn A's and increase your GPA. Okay. Certificate of clearance. The state requires you to be cleared, no felonies. It's a 2-step process. You're going to take the live scan form, which you'll find on our website as well, and you're going to take it to anywhere that does a live scan. The police station here on campus does it. I believe they charge $65. You can head over there, have them do it, and then you're going to log on to the CTC website. Again, both of these documents you'll find are on our website under important documents. You'll apply on the CTC website as a certificate for a certificate of clearance. Once you submit that application, it'll meet up with your live scan fingerprints, and then you should be cleared. Once you receive the email saying that you're cleared, you're going to print out that document, and that's the document you're going to submit with your application. Now, some of you may say, you know, I just did a live scan for my job. I work for a bank, or maybe you actually work for a school district and you're like, the school district just had me do a live scan. Will that work? Most likely not for anything that's a job. So if you're at a bank, it only went to that job. School districts, it's a possibility. And the way you'll want to check is on your live scan form. You'll want to match it up with the live scan form that we have on our website and look to see who it went to. If the address is the same and it has the state information, then it's very likely that you're good to go. If not, unfortunately, you're going to have to do it again, and that means that your fingerprints only went to that specific school. If you are a substitute teacher, you have already been live scanned with the state, but they still want you to do their certificate of clearance. So you don't have to do your fingerprints over, but you do need to log on to the CTC website and apply for an actual certificate of clearance. Certificate of clearance is good for 5 years, so once you do that, you won't have to do it again, and hopefully by then you'll have your credential and you'll already be teaching. The next thing on our checklist is a TB. You have to be cleared for TB. TB usually lasts for 4 years. If you've done it recently, you should be good to go. Just make a copy of it and submit it. If you haven't done it, you can either go to your physician, you can go to a CVS like clinic, Minute Clinic, anywhere that can do TB. At this time, you could either choose to have your finger poked and do the actual TB test, or we do have a risk assessment that you'll find on our website. You can fill that out, take it to a physician, physician assistant, nurse practitioner. It's a few questions. Based off the questions, they'll then decide if you need a TB test or not. If not, they'll sign you off and you're good to go, and you're just going to submit that document with your application packet. Any questions on any of those requirements that I just reviewed? All right. CPR. We require you to be CPR trained. It must include infant, child, and adult. You can do it in person or online. We do have a list of places on that link that offer some suggestions. I think they also offer it on campus. You'll make a copy of that certificate, or if it's a card, make sure on the back side, if it asks for holder's signature, that you've signed it, and then you'll submit that with your documents. There's a $50 admissions processing fee that we have. You'll pay that at the time of your application. You don't have to pay this in order to take the prerequisites. And all these admissions documents requirements are not required to take the prerequisites. All these are required only to apply to the actual credential program. You can pay this fee online. If you do, I'll automatically receive a copy of it. I'll hold on to it, and then we'll place it with your documents. If not, you can pay it in person at UH 180. They'll give you a receipt, and you submit that receipt with your documents. That's pretty much all the documents that you need to submit. You'll want to submit it in a packet to me. Paper clipped is fine. You don't have to submit it in anything fancy. I'm going to get it together, and I'm going to then put it in a file and send it over to the admissions advisor. All right, we do have a professional track. It's an intern program, and what that means is, should you get offered a teaching position in your second semester, you can take that position and you can do our intern program, where now you're getting paid to teach as opposed to student teaching. You will no longer have a master teacher, but you will have a classroom that you'll run of your own. If you're interested in more information, you can contact Dr. Maria Grant, and she can explain this program a little bit more to you. Program costs. So the current fees can always be found on the Student Financial Services. Since it is a 2-semester program and you're always taking more than 7 units, it is considered full-time. Right now the going rate is $3,906 per semester. So if it's 2 semesters and you still need to take our prerequisites, then it'll be 3 semesters as long as that cost doesn't change. Again, always check the Student Financial Service website for the most recent fees. Financial aid can be used for our credential program. You can use it for the 2 semesters of the program, but not for the prerequisites. So I encourage you to apply for FAFSA. If you've received it before, then you'll most likely receive it again. It is a credential and not a degree, so you should receive that aid. There also are several grants and scholarships. The College of Education has a specific website for our students, so I encourage everybody to look at that and see if there's anything that you might qualify. There's also the TEACH grant, and I actually believe that the TEACH grant may help with the prerequisites, so I encourage you to take a look at that and see if that grant is something that might work for you. All right. The secondary department also offers a Master's of Science in Education. It's 100% online. It's 2.5 years, and that is being that you'll only take 2 courses per semester. They offer 3 programs, just a Master's of Science in Education in secondary ed, a Master's of Science with the emphasis in teaching foundational level math, and then a teacher induction program. If you're interested in that program, please reach out to Dr. Chris Street, the grad advisor, or you can check out the website as well. You do need to have a credential in order to do this master's program. Most of our students, after they complete our credential program, they go straight into this master's program. The Center for Careers in Teaching is a great resource for our undergrads as well as our current College of Ed students. You're able to use their CBEST and CSET prep in the study space. Specifically for undergrads, they have advisors there who will help them figure out how to incorporate our prerequisites in your undergrad and just get you prepared to start our credential program once you've graduated. So you can start submitting your documents 6 to 12 weeks before our application deadlines. Again, you'll submit everything to me in person. It'll be a hard copy in a packet, and you'll want to make a copy of everything. Your CBEST and CSET results, please make sure that you have them sent to you and that you email them, you download them and you save them and print them out. Once that link expires, you have 60 days to do that. Once that link expires, you have to reach back out to them and have them send it to you, and I believe there is a fee for them to resend them to you. So you want to make sure that you have your hands on that document and keep it. There's a U.S. Constitution requirement. Now, it's not an actual requirement for our credential program, but in order for you to receive your credential, the state requires you to have this. We put that out here so that you're not doing this at the back end of our program if it's something that needs to be completed. If you graduated from a CSU, you most likely did this because it is required. Most of the time it's a Poli-Sci 101 class or 100 class. If you went to a UC or somewhere else, you'll want to check your transcripts to see if you have that. It's usually like a U.S. Constitution course. We will help you figure that out, and if you don't have that, then there is a one-day test that you can take, an exam, and then that it qualifies for that U.S. Constitution requirement. So that's pretty much our requirements and the checklist of what you need to submit. I will open it up to questions, and then I also have a few tips and a few more information about the program and kind of how it works and what happens. So I'll open it up for questions, and then I'll give her my little tips after. Is that okay, Jamie?
Yes, that works.
Perfect. All right. Did you have any questions, Timothy? Was there anything that...
Further a teacher recommendation. Was it just a form
It is a form.
that they fill out for the
Yes,
faculty? They just had
right.
to fill up the form
That's
and then
correct.
send it to Shand? Okay.
Yes. They either can send it to Dr. Shand or they can
So it doesn't have to be in the packet for the application?
if they send it back to you, yes. If not, no, I'll have it and I'll add it to your documents when you're ready to apply. Okay. And it's a written letter is not required. Some faculty choose to write a letter in addition to the form. If they choose to do that, that's fine. We will then, just add it to it, but it's not required.
Okay. So all we need to do is just fill in the application, just 2 pieces of paper. I think the first thing was if you apply to CSUF, apply on the application form, and then it talks about like if it was like a editable PDF.
A writable PDF. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then it shows all that. It was just the 2 pieces of paper for the application, right?
Yep, that's it. Right. It's just a 2-page application.
Okay, and then we just copy our test scores from the CBAS, and then our CTC or TB test, and then our CPR training, all in that within a packet, or like as you said, a paper clip as well.
Yep,
Okay.
Nothing fancy. Just bring it together, all together. We'll sit down. I'll review your documents. We'll make sure everything's there, and that's it. After that, I'll process it. I'll send the files to the advisors. They review them, and then they contact you directly to your CSUF email address. So I highly recommend that if you're not checking your CSUF email address, that you start doing that once you apply, because you don't want to miss your opportunity to interview. In the email, they'll explain to you what you need to do to prepare for the interview and then schedule that.
Okay. What else? And also, talking about the CSU apply, we don't have to do it if we're already in CSUF. I mean, yeah.
Right. So if you're currently taking the prerequisites as a credential student, you do not need to reapply. Your status stays the same as a credential student, and you're just able to move forward in the credential program.
Okay. I think that's all my questions. Yeah.
Okay. So a couple of things. When it comes to student placing, once you get admitted, the advisor will ask you for two of your preferences for schools. You can write those down, and they're going to try to place you there. If not, they'll try to place you close to Cal State Fullerton. So you don't have to worry about finding the student placement on your own. We'll do that for you. Okay. Another thing that I want to go over is if you're interested in teaching another subject area and how to go about that. So maybe you want to teach English, but you're also good at math. You'll want to take the CSET for that math and a methods course, and then you'll have an authorization to teach another subject area, and that's it. Currently, we offer the methods course here for history, social science, math, world languages, and science. So should you want to add any of those, you would take the CSETs and then our methods course. If we don't offer the methods course, you'll need to look elsewhere. I always tell people to think outside of the box with those methods course, because most of the time they're offered through like an extended ed open university. So, look at your UCLAs, look at your USCs, your Chapmans. Some of the private schools may offer those more harder to find methods course, like a music one or PE. So look outside the box on that, and that's all you have to do to add another authorization. Same thing if you're interested in getting an elementary and multiple subject. To add a single subject, you're going to just do the CSET and the methods course for that subject area, and you'll be able to teach a single subject in junior high or high school as well. Let's see, I'm trying to think of what else. We have a bilingual authorization. The bilingual authorization allows you to teach your subject area in another class, in another language. It's 2 more classes that you'd need to take, and then you could do that as well. Most people do that after they get the credential, but you could always reach out to Dr. Rodriguez, and he can let you know if there's any way, like maybe during the summer if you have time, if you start a program in the spring, and then you're finished in the fall. During that summer, you could possibly take those 2 courses. So I encourage you guys, if you speak another language, to look into that. I can't think of anything else that might be helpful. Jamie?
Yeah, I guess that concludes it. Thank you for attending. Thank you, Tiffany, Timothy.